The iPhone 15 on the way. Tesla opening up its network of superchargers to non-Tesla EVs. Joining me live is Tech Guide editor Stephen Fenech. Stevo, Apple, tell me more.
Hi, Tim. Yeah, the event has been confirmed by Apple. It's going to take place early hours of the morning on September 13 Australian time. I'll be over there, so it'll be September 12 in the US. And of course, yeah, we'll be seeing the new iPhone 15, the 15 Plus, 15 Pro and the 15 Pro Max. There's been a lot of speculation and a lot of rumours already about what we can expect, and I think the biggest thing we're going to see, the biggest change I think will be to the iPhones will be the fact that there'll be no more Lightning port. It'll have a totally different port. It'll be the USB-C port. That is the first time iPhone will not have a Lightning port for several years. There's also going to be some design tweaks as well. I think on the Pro range, you're going to see that the stainless steel is going to be replaced by titanium. So it'll make the device a little bit lighter. The button configuration on the Pro models too, on the left side, there's going to be an action button on the left to replacing that switch. So that action button can be configured to open the camera, open an app, to do whatever you want it to do. There'll also be some camera improvements as well. We're expecting there to be a periscope camera on the Pro models, which means that it will offer up to 6 times optical zoom. So that's glass optical zoom on the phone. First time that Apple's gone down that path as well. Also the dynamic island, so the thing that replaced the notch last year, that's going to be across the entire range, not just the Pro models as well. So we are expecting all of that, and probably, of course, an updated Apple Watch Series 9, and even Apple Watch Ultra Series 2 is also expected to be announced at the event, which will be streamed live on Apple's website, and I'll have all the details on Tech Guide as well.
Tesla has opened up its network of superchargers.
Yeah, well, this is a big move, I think, for the EV market in general. I think Tesla, they've got 63 sites around Australia, 30 of them in major areas, so on major freeways, on major parts of Australia, are now open to non-Tesla EVs. And this, I think, is going to be a real shot in the arm, I think, for the industry, because people knowing that there's this vast network of chargers that are available to everyone, not just Teslas, I think is going to trigger a lot of people to make the jump to an EV. Tesla always said that their supercharger network was always going to be opened up to other EVs, and we're seeing that today. There's the sites that are mentioned are strategically placed around Australia and have several chargers in those locations. So it's really going to ease any kind of range anxiety that people may have. It'll ease the congestion too, especially around holiday periods where EV drivers are up and down the highways charging their vehicles. They're also going to be placed near amenities as well. So when you're charging your car, you'll be able to grab a coffee or have a meal. And the speed of the superchargers too is also very important. Tesla's saying that you can add up to 300 kilometres of range into around 20 to 25 minutes, which on a road trip, that's not too long to wait before you get moving again.
This Telstra Dobber scammer scheme seems to be working.
Yes, it is. Yeah, it was an interesting concept where Telstra always have had a really good system to filter out the scams, but this system was where you dob in a scammer. So if you received a scam text, you can actually forward it to 7226, which actually spells scam. And what the problem was, though, a lot of Telstra said that they received a lot of screenshots, a lot of images, rather than the actual text message itself. A lot of people didn't realise that you can actually forward a text message. I've got instructions on Tech Guide on how to do that. And the reason that they want to enforce this is because the more information they get from these scams, the easier they can filter them out. So it's a dob in the scammer. You're helping a lot of other customers to avoid being scammed as well. So yeah, it has been working, but there's definitely room for improvement, and they've set this in place so you can forward this to the message to 7226, and they can take a look at the scam and jump on and help prevent other customers receiving the same one.
Now, I know you don't want to talk about it. I know you don't want to talk about it, but you guys, South Sydney Rabbitohs, led the competition in round 10. I think you beat Melbourne, Brisbane, and one of the other top high flyers 3 weeks in a row.
Beating all the top 4 teams.
What happened?
Mate, I wish I know. I'm shattered, Tim. I wish I knew what was wrong with this club. The last couple of weeks has just ended up a pile of rubble on top of this team. They couldn't get out from under it. It's like a perfectly good plane's just fallen out of the sky. I think if that happens, you want to know why. I think fans and members are entitled to know what went wrong, why a team that was the premiership favourites after round 11 have now bowed out of the semi-finals. And in front of a 36,000, I was out there myself, 36,000 strong crowd, biggest game of the year, against our arch rivals to get into the semi-finals. If you can't fire up for that game, and I don't know why.
Well, there's been some signs, Steve.
Beyond belief.
What about the mistreatment? Like 2014, Sam Burgess had a fractured cheekbone in the start of that game, opening minutes. He went on to get the Clive Churchill medal and virtually won the grand final on his back. The shoddy treatment, the mistreatment of an absolute legend is just extraordinary.
I hear and I agree, mate. I think Sam, it was all about discipline, and that's the reason why he was shown the door. He suggested that we could be a bit more disciplined, and he was shown the door. So that's disappointing. You need the lack of discipline's evident in the amount of errors they've made. The whole thing just lacked that polish that's normally there. Mate, I'm hoping Sam makes a return to the club and instills that passion back into the red and green again, like we had back in the day when my brother and Craig Coleman and all these guys were playing. It was the passion of wearing that jersey that brought us to such success over the years and eventually the 2014 grand final. So I'm hoping they have a bit of a post-mortem in the off-season. Jack Whiten's on board next year, so I'm hoping that they can get everything sorted and have a great season in 2024.
Yeah, well, he's off to Warrington, isn't he, Sam? And we're not talking some backstreet operation for those around Australia and New Zealand that don't follow rugby league. We're talking about one of the biggest sporting brands in this country. Anyway, Steve-o, we will talk tech again next week, my friend. South Sydney Rabbitohs, well, they're on their way to Bali or their end-of-season trip. It's over for this year.
Thanks, buddy. Talk to you next week.